bei Sarah's Music. Heute sind wir in New York City. Um genau zu sagen, sind wir in Brooklyn, einer der coolsten Stadtteile hier. Das Streichquartett Brooklyn Rider ist hier zu Hause und wir werden heute den Tag mit denen verbringen. Aber zuerst muss ich Bagels holen gehen. Die 4 Mitglieder von Brooklyn Rider sind klassische Musiker, die sich sowohl in Clubs als auch in Konzerthallen zu Hause fühlen. Sie werden als wegweisendes Streichquartett beschrieben, entmystifizieren klassische Musik und laden jedermann dazu ein. Heute ist ein besonderes Konzert, bei dem das Gründungsmitglied Cellist Eric Jacobson verabschiedet und der neue Cellist Michael Nicholas vorgestellt wird.
It's time to unwrap. Today is quite a special concert because it's the last concert of yours, Eric, and your first concert, Michael. So I just thought instead of passing the baton, you're passing the bagel.
Passing the bagel, pouring the coffee.
First question to Colin with a full mouthful of Locke's bagel. What's the story behind the name?
Well, you know, we think of Brooklyn as the Berlin of America, so there you have it. No, actually, our name is comes from the Blue Rider group, Der Blaue Reiter, who we were inspired by their sort of cross-disciplinary work 100 years ago in Munich. And, but we did want to refer to the place that we call home, Brooklyn.
Eric, how do you find all this music? Because your albums are full of the craziest titles, five-legged cats and all sorts of things. Where do you find all these guys?
I think a lot of the repertoire that we play, of course we play a lot of music by Colin, and I think then expanding out, we have friends that are composers, friends of friends that are composers, and then of course there's the reach outside of the internal circle, which brings us to composers that we wouldn't have known necessarily, but have been influenced by more so because of actually friends saying you should check out this music.
There are a lot of quartets that really concentrate on the quartet repertoire. You guys decided you had to be something different.
I think we might be different. I'm not sure if we decided that to get going. You know, I think it's just a reflection of all of our interests because we like so many things and we want to kind of experience the world through the string quartet, and it turns out to be a vehicle where you really can do that very easily because you know, our tradition really is a world tradition.
Have any technical boundaries? Are there any really crazy pieces where you just think, oh no, I'm not doing that? Or are you, because I know violins are quite expensive things, and at the rehearsal yesterday you were getting some incredible sounds out of that, isn't that? Are there any boundaries, or do you guys just
I think, you know, we always get, you know, asked to do things that, you know, we haven't done before.
It's definitely part of the tradition, right? You think about late Beethoven string quartets, people said they were unplayable at the time. People often said, you know, like the music of Charles Ives, for instance, was unplayable. And, you know, I think that's how the tradition kind of moves forward in time, is by constantly pushing everybody's boundaries, both players and audiences.
Beethoven would have loved you guys. Michael, what's it like joining a real unit? Because these guys have been playing together for many, many years, and you are now coming in, and you're like the new guy on the bench in the family. That everyone has to move up a bit and make room for you. How does that feel?
Well, I believe that part of the reason that they thought of me was because I share this sort of like adventure spirit of
Craziness.
just craziness, like exploring.
You mentioned all the good word.
Yeah, not really like limiting yourself by any sort of music or not even labeling it, just taking whatever sort of comes my way, and that's sort of what I've done my whole career, and that's what they've done, and I think it's going to be a happy union.
Tonight's concert's going to be very, very special, and I can't wait. And you need some sustenance to get you through that. So what do you say? Shall we,
Let's
take
do
a
this.
bite? Okay. Here we go. Williamsburg, mitten in Brooklyn. Und das heutige Konzert von Brooklyn Rider ist für die New York Philharmonic Biennale. Und es wird in diesem wunderschönen Gebäude stattfinden. National Sawdust. Und wir gehen jetzt rein. Paula, it's so fantastic to be here in your incredible space. People have called you visionary in chief. What is your vision?
The vision was to create a space that would really be a home for musicians of all kinds, both locally, nationally, and internationally, with a focus on it being artist-led. I'm a composer.
What sort of audience do you attract?
There's a cross-pollination in terms of the audiences that we attract. They do tend to be younger. It is a local audience, so it is a Brooklyn audience, but people are definitely coming from New York, from Manhattan, and frequently also they make trips specifically to come certain bands and certain groups.
National Sawdust, what does that mean?
National Sawdust is actually the name that's on the building. It was a sawdust factory, a century-old sawdust factory, and when we found the space, it was it had many different interpolations, all equally kind of strange.
How do you make sawdust? Was there a factory that makes sawdust?
Yes, and in fact, it's of course considered a byproduct, but yes, it was a factory that made sawdust, and then eventually it was a factory that made small little chips that go in goldfish bowls, all sorts of strange things.
And now it's an incredible space with incredible artists. What does it mean for your team here to have artists like Brooklyn Rider come and give concerts here?
So having a group like Brooklyn Rider is very important. This is our opening year, and so we are branding ourselves with the artists that we choose to represent. And Brooklyn Rider is one of our first groups in residence. So what it means is that their value system, the music they've chosen, the extraordinary kind of catalog that they have is one that not only we respect, but we admire. We also, take upon in terms of our own identity and what we represent.
Thank you so much for letting us come and hear it.
Thank you so much.
Das war's von Sarah's Music für heute. Bagels und Brooklyn Rider, was für ein toller Tag. Wir sehen uns bald wieder. Bye bye from Brooklyn. So today, of course, we have a very Brooklyn horn challenge. Brooklyn Rider have agreed to take the challenge. Colin, take it away.
I sound my barbaric yawp from the rooftops of the world.